In April of 2025, tariffs on Chinese goods hit 145%, not 10%, not 25%, 145. In the tool industry, that number is not an abstraction. It is a cost multiplier applied to the supply chains of nearly every brand on the shelves at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Harbor Freight. And the brands that are most exposed are not the ones most people would expect to be standing at the edge of a cliff. Most people assume that the brands hurt by China tariffs are the cheap ones, the off-brand impact drivers from Harbor Freight, the no-name socket sets that show up in bin displays. And Harbor Freight is genuinely extremely exposed. But the tariff story in the tool industry is more disorienting than that, because some of the brands Americans most associate with quality, toughness, and reliability, Milwaukee, DeWalt, Ryobi, Craftsman, are deeply entangled in the same Chinese supply chains as the tools they consider themselves superior to. This video ranks every major tool brand by how exposed they actually are, using the ownership data, manufacturing footprint percentages, and the price hike announcements that companies have already made publicly. Some of what follows will be surprising. Some of it is already showing up in the prices you're paying at the register. To understand who gets hurt and how badly, you have to start with where tools are actually made, not where they are branded, not where the corporate headquarters is located, and not what the flag on the packaging implies. The tool industry has spent 30 years building supply chains around Chinese manufacturing because Chinese manufacturing offered the combination of scale, cost, and battery cell access that no other geography could match at the same price point. Lithium-ion battery cells, the single most expensive component in any modern cordless tool, are almost entirely produced in China. Motors, electronics, switches, housings, each of these component categories has a dominant Chinese manufacturing base. When 145% tariffs hit, every tool brand that relies on Chinese components got a new cost structure overnight. The question is, by how much and for whom? Start with the brand that is most exposed, and that brand is not the one most people would guess. Harbor Freight sources essentially everything it sells from Chinese manufacturers. It owns no factories. It has no supply chain to diversify. It has no Mexico or Vietnam operation to shift volume to. When tariffs on Chinese goods hit 145%, Harbor Freight had no buffer. Every single product in the store got more expensive to import, and the company had two choices: absorb the cost and compress already thin margins, or raise prices. A brand that built its entire identity on undercutting name brands now has to undercut them from a position where its own costs have roughly doubled on the cost of Chinese goods. The Harbor Freight pricing advantage, the fundamental reason the brand exists, is the thing most directly attacked by these tariffs. Second most exposed, TTI. TTI is the Hong Kong-based parent company of Milwaukee Tool, Ryobi, and Rigid Power Tools, three of the most prominent brands at Home Depot. According to TTI's own investor presentations, 52% of the company's manufacturing footprint is in China. TTI had 2025 annual sales of $15.3 billion, with the vast majority of its North American revenue flowing through Home Depot. Milwaukee Tool, the brand that professional tradespeople most identify with American toughness and quality, is owned by a Hong Kong conglomerate with China as its primary manufacturing base. The pro-grade M18 combo kit that sold for around $399 in 2019 now sits closer to $499 to $554, depending on the retailer. A price increase that industry analysis ties directly to Chinese component costs and tariff exposure. Stanley Black & Decker, parent of DeWalt and Craftsman, is the third most exposed among the major players, and uniquely, they are the company that has spoken most publicly about what this means. In the company's first quarter 2025 earnings call, they confirmed that 15% of their supply chain is based in China. They announced a high single-digit price hike for April 2025. Then COO Christopher Nelson confirmed on the earnings call that a second price hike in the third quarter was coming, and that it was likely to be higher than the first. DeWalt Flex Volt batteries that sold for around $149 have moved above $199 at many retailers over the past 3 years. SBD's stock declined from roughly $140 to below $90 during the trade war period, a market judgment on the structural exposure the company faces. And now, here is where the story gets more interesting. Makita, the independently owned Japanese brand, is significantly more insulated. Makita has factories in Japan, the United States, China, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Romania, Dubai, and Thailand. Its business is substantially global. It does not depend on American retail the way Milwaukee and DeWalt do. China is part of Makita's manufacturing picture, but it is not the dominant part of it. Bosch, based in Germany with manufacturing in Germany, Malaysia, Mexico, Taiwan, and Switzerland, is structurally the most protected major brand in the category. The majority of Bosch's revenue comes from outside the United States, and its manufacturing base is the most geographically distributed of any major player. Tariffs on Chinese goods create costs for Bosch, but they do not threaten the viability of its American business the way they threaten TTI or Harbor Freight. At the far end of the spectrum, the brands genuinely protected from China tariff exposure are the ones that never built their supply chains around China in the first place. Channellock has forged pliers in Meadville, Pennsylvania since 1886. Klein Tools manufactures its core pliers and hand tools in the United States. Snap-on, which generated $4.7 billion in annual sales in 2024, manufactures in the United States, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Sweden. Knipex and Wera are made in Germany. These brands face a 10% tariff on any components that touch Chinese supply chains, but they do not face the 145% exposure that comes from China as the primary production source. Here is the detail that makes this more than a trade policy story and turns it into a consumer protection issue. When tariffs create legitimate cost increases, prices should rise by approximately the amount of the actual cost increase. But when a whole industry is repricing simultaneously and consumers cannot easily identify which brands are exposed and which are not, the tariff environment creates cover for companies to raise prices beyond their actual cost increases. An analyst who has tracked power tool pricing since 2019 noted that the DeWalt combo kit that was $499 on Home Depot's Black Friday in 2024 has since climbed further, in a pricing trajectory that industry observers note outpaces the stated 15% China supply chain exposure SBD itself disclosed. Harbor Freight raised prices on several lines before the tariffs were finalized, a pattern of preemptive price action that tool pricing analysts specifically flagged. The practical question for anyone buying tools in the next 12 months is not whether prices will go up. They will. The question is, which increases reflect real cost exposure and which reflect opportunity? The brands with the highest China exposure, Harbor Freight, TTI's Milwaukee and Ryobi lines, DeWalt, have the most legitimate reason to raise prices, and they are raising them. The brands with genuine domestic or European manufacturing, Channellock, Klein, Snap-on, Knipex, Bosch, have the least exposure and the least legitimate justification for matching those increases. If all the prices go up together in the same aisle, the tariff did not discriminate. The brands with nowhere to hide are in the red. The ones that built somewhere else to go are quietly gaining margin. If this changes how you think about the next tool you buy, subscribe. The supply chain story in this industry is far from over, and the next chapter is already being written in the prices you're seeing right now.